Welcome to the Wizard of Odds. Kenny White start in Spokane, where Gonzaga has won 62 straight home games. They've also won 24 straight against Loyola Marymount. Massive number. Gonzaga is a 27.5-point favorite. The total is 156 and a hook. Tough to lay 27.5 even with the Zags. Kenny, what are you targeting?
Yeah, it is, Hakeem. It's a tough game because I don't like to go under in big spreads as well, but I have to here. It's about the only value I can see in this game. This total 157. It never really seems that high with the Zags, but you know what? Zags right now this year 9-8 to the over, so they're no bargain to go over every single game. Now Loyola, Stan Johnson, their head coach, prefers a little bit slower pace. They're ranked 246th in the nation. The Zags defense is good enough to slow that pace up a little bit more, so I think Loyola will take a lot of time off, and it's also going to be tough for Loyola to score in this game. They played 3 teams this year that went up and down the court at the same pace as the Zags. Now, none of these teams are as good as offensively as the Zags, but those 3 games came 151 against Long Beach, 131 against Nevada, and 142 against Pepperdine in regulation. Those teams all play up-tempo. They play fast. None of them really came close to this total. And also, the Zags are a far better defensive team than those 3. So I just don't see it getting to this number.
All right, so Kenny's going to go under the 156.5 tonight in Spokane. Let's go to the Pac-12. UCLA coming off a big win over number 3 Arizona on Tuesday, hosting Cal tonight as a 15.5-point favorite. 2 schools meeting for the second time this season. UCLA won earlier this month by 8 points. Just missed covering the 8.5-point spread. Got to cover 15.5 tonight, Kenny. Do you expect a blowout this time around?
I do not. I like Mark Fox and what he's done at California. His teams play very fundamental. They slow it down, and they play very good defense. Now, UCLA, they just loaded up for Arizona. That was like their biggest game of the year. They're supposed to be the top dog in the Pac-12. They're the team that went the furthest to the NCAA tournament last year. They have everybody back. They're everybody's supposed to be talking about, but who was everybody talking about? Arizona, because they were number 2 in the country, undefeated in conference. So UCLA loaded up for that game. They had their fans back, first game with the fans in the stands in 3 weeks. It was just a big night for the Bruins. They won easily from wire to wire. I could not see that type of intensity against the team who they just beat. So I took the 16.5 with the Bears.
All right, so you got it at a better number in terms of the dog tonight. Cal, 16.5, 15.5-point favorite in some spots. Elsewhere, USC looking to avenge an upset loss to Stanford tonight. Trojans are 11-point home favorites. The total 140.5, perhaps a trend to consider. The home team is 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 meetings between these 2 schools. Kenny, what do you like in this game?
Well, truth be told, I lost the first matchup here. USC went into Stanford and Palo Alto, and I knew there was no fans in the stands. So you can't give home court if there's no fans, and I thought it was built into the line. USC was undefeated at the time. They were 13-0, 3-0 in conference, and they lost the game 75-69. They led that game mainly, I think, almost 90% of the game, and Stanford got the lead late and then won by 7. So a much closer game. I think, USC is going to remember that was their first loss. I think they lay it on Stanford tonight, and they love to go up tempo. So this is more of a correlated parlay from me. If USC does load up here and win this game big, they're going to go over the total of 140. So I'm correlated parlay only, no straight bet on either one.
All right, so USC and the over in tonight's game between USC and Stanford. Big game in the Big Ten tonight. Number 6 Purdue on the road at Iowa. The Boilermakers beat the Hawkeyes 77-70 in the Big Ten opener for both schools back in December. Tonight, Purdue a 2.5-point favorite, total 154 and a hook. Kenny, who or what do you like in this spot?
2 really well-coached basketball teams. Purdue I have ranked in the top 5. They're a great offensive machine and solid defensively. Iowa's the same way. Great offensive club. I've got them ranked number 20 in college basketball, so it's a great matchup tonight. But there's one issue. There's an injury. Jaden Ivey, shooting guard for Purdue, is out. He's a 6'4". I'm going to say it. I think he reminds me of Michael Jordan, but he's 6'4". If he was 6'6", he might be Michael Jordan. I think he was as good. This kid can do it all. He is a great athlete. He's a really good shooter. He's a great slasher. He's got great quickness, great hops. I think they miss him in the lineup tonight. Iowa obviously has the revenge. Very good home team, 11-1 straight up at home this year, 8-4 ATS. Purdue's had a little bit of struggles in their road games. They're 2-2 straight up in true road games and just 1-3 ATS in those games. I thought Iowa should have been the favorite here, so I'm taking the points with the Hawkeyes.
All right, taking 2.5 with the home team. Iowa looking to avenge that loss from earlier in the season. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, number 16 Ohio State visiting Minnesota as a 6.5-point favorite. Totals 134 and a hook. Golden Gophers leading scorer Jamison battle a game-time decision. Kenny, you rolling with E.J. Liddell and the Buckeyes?
Yeah, I did. I laid the price here with the Ohio State Buckeyes, and it's a lot because of the injuries. Curry's out tonight. Battle, very questionable. Stevens also questionable. And, Minnesota has started to come back to earth a little bit after their 10-1 start. They're 1-4 their last 5. They're just 2-5 ATS their last 7. And they've struggled at home on the year. They have not done well. 3-6 ATS. Remember, this is a rebuilding job. No more Richard Pitino. Ben Johnson has come in to take the program over. Now, he brought in different philosophies, so it was a learning process. They did very well, but now it looks like they're coming back to where they're supposed to be. Ohio State, very solid basketball team. Their numbers don't look great on the road this year, but they've played a lot of really good teams. The only team they played in about equal talent-wise to Minnesota on the road was at Penn State. And they beat Penn State by 12, and I think this is a similar type of situation.
All right, roll with the Buckeyes. Got to beat Minnesota by 7. I like that play. I think I'm going to play that alongside you, Kenny, as well. Liddell, 12 points away from 1,000 for his career. Now let's get your off-the-radar selection. Plenty of games on the slate tonight. What's a game we should also be paying attention to tonight, Kenny?
Yeah, this is a Conference USA game. I'm on Middle Tennessee State. Getting 2.5, plus 2.5. Middle Tennessee's a half a game out of first place in the East. Marshall's also in the East. They're 0-6. They're in dead last in the conference, and they're playing like it. They're just having a really bad year. Middle Tennessee lost both games last year to Marshall. It's hard to ever find the better team with revenge, and in this spot it is. The defensive numbers in conference play. Middle Tennessee State is the #1 defensive team in the entire conference, East and West combined. Well, guess who's next to dead last? Marshall, number 13 out of 14 teams defensively. Not even close. Middle Tennessee, far better team, getting points tonight at Marshall.
Maybe even a little money line sprinkle there for you as well, Kenny. I like that. All right, let's recap Kenny's selections here in college basketball. A busy night. Plenty of games to wager on. Here's the ones that we are locking in on. He likes the under between Loyola, Marymount, and Gonzaga, set at 156.5. Got to be careful, though, in that, because Gonzaga will dictate the tempo. They may want to run up and down the court, or they may say, we're going to slow this down. So that's always a tough play to make when you take the under with the Gonzaga Bulldogs, the highest scoring team in Division I. Taking the points with Cal, getting 15.5 on the road at UCLA. Parlay here with USC and the over. So a correlated parlay with the Trojans to cover 11. The game go over 140.5. Likes Iowa getting 2.5 at home. Ohio State to cover 6.5 on the road at Minnesota. And his off the radar wager, Middle Tennessee getting 2.5 against Marshall.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.